Welcome to Anartha Nivritti 12 Steps. Today we will be having a closer look at what is this Anartha Nivritti 12 Steps. So the analogy that personally has helped me is Krishna-powered GPS. Yes, it's like a map. It's navigating the jungle of my anarthas. And in short, it's a path to freedom in bhakti. Have you ever felt like you're wearing a mask in spiritual life, trying so hard, deep inside, you're still wrestling with doubts, fears, different habits, patterns that won't budge? Yes, I have been there. I really resonate that feeling until I found this structured way to break free from that pattern of wearing masks. So that for me was these 12 steps. So it's not just any recovery tool. This has been much more powerful than counseling sessions and psychotherapy. Why? Because this tool is Krishna-centered. And originally, when the Alcoholic Anonymous, when they came up with this concept, the whole thing was God in center. So sometimes we have to be kind to ourselves, make mind a friend, as Krishna says in the Gita. And at most other times, I would say, we need to discipline the mind. So just like a parent disciplines the child may not like it, but there has to be a firm disciplining. So this 12 steps is all about not trying to throw our anarthas into Ganga, try to drown it, but rather it is to discipline with love. So the acronym for today would be SPIRIT. So this is the acronym for today. There's 6 pillars. And these are the 6 pillars that really address this unveiling of the mask, instead of just becoming, we will not address it as just as anarthas. Why? We'll get an idea from this acronym SPIRIT. So what are the 6 pillars? The 6 pillars are, I'll take you quickly through the here. The S stands for surrender. So the first S is connects with the first 3 steps of this program. So the concept is struggle to strength, to not see the struggle as something disempowering, but rather as a strength. So we'll get a lot into Bhagavad Gita and Krishna and Arjuna's dynamics when we are studying this section. So that's from that struggle to strength, we use that powerlessness to overcome the anarthas. And I mean, I don't know about you, but overthinking, when I try to stop overthinking, it increases. So it's like playing a whack-a-mole. So sometimes we just raise our hands and say, I don't know how to do this. Krishna, I need your help. So Bhagavad Gita 1866, Krishna's instructions, final instructions, surrender. Surrender everything to me. I shall deliver you. Give up all other nonsense. So that's the S of this. In this S, struggle to surrender. Let me just, there are some practical things that you will be asked to do in order to make this a success for you. So one of the things in steps of the surrender thing is the outreach calls. So we highly recommend that you, with this group, not any other people, but within this group, if you're looking for the certification, then yes, definitely this is a must. You need to connect with other members of the group in an outreach call where you have the 3 minutes or 5 minutes to express what it is that you're working on these steps. We will discuss that tomorrow further. So the P, where's the P? It's the I here. Let me go back to the P. P is over here. So in the acronym P stands for personal inventory. So we study that in the 4th and the 5th step, 4th, 5th, and 6th step. So this is all about scanning your junkyard. My favorite part. I'm kidding. So to take a fearless look at your flaws and your assets. I love this exercise because it's not just about taking a inventory about the flaws, but it's also about taking inventory of the assets. So in this particular boot camp that we're doing, I'm not going to go deep into it. There's a whole manual for it. This is only to encourage you to actually do the 12 steps in the proper meeting, in the proper format, by using the manual and doing your work. So imagine that Krishna removes all our anarthas. What are we going to do? So this section, when Prahlad Maharaj, this is one of the highlights of seventh canto. Prahlad Maharaj, when tortured by his father, tells his father, imagine the Hiranyakashipu as the anartha, and Prahlad is the spirit soul. So the anartha is torturing, has all these dirtiness. So Hiranyakashipu is going crazy. And what does Prahlad tell him? Naivodvije paraduratyaya vaitaranyas twadvirya gayana rasamrita magnachitta. I mean, actually, he is actually saying, I'm not at all bothered by any of these anarthas. I'm not bothered by Hiranyakashipu. I'm not bothered by anybody. Why? Because he's completely absorbed. He's fearless. He's able to look at himself and look at other things with that total surrender. That concept is all about letting go. Letting go. Letting go, becoming ready to let go of the junkyard. Then we have the I. I is the integrity and the confession. This has been very crucial for me in my own step work, to let go, make amends, because we need other people to do that. I can't do it with my own mind. That'll not take me much further. There's an African proverb that says, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. So the whole point of this steps 7, 8, 9 is all about learning how to apologize, learning how to forgive, because the mind says, 30% is the other person's fault also. 30% is my parents, and the environment, and this and that, and my astrological chart, whatever justification we give. But in this whole 12-step program is like no more excuses. And there is a big book that's like the original AA program. So in that they actually say, you give 100%. There's no 100% responsibility, accountability, taking responsibility. So if you want this program to work for you, the mood should be fixing my side of the problem instead of looking outside and saying, this is the problem, that person is a problem. So we see the example, we'll study further when we're studying this section, Daksha Prajapati. So he goes from arrogance to awareness. So that shift happens only because he's able to let go and make amends. So make amends will be a step. It will be a practical process where we will be helping each other. We will have like a buddy or somebody that you can be accountable to, and you will do this exercise. All right, next we have the R in the spirit. So R is all about that realignment, daily check-ins, deeper connection. When we reach step 10, those of you who have done it, you enjoyed doing it, right? That was actually one of we even had a separate group. We would do the 10-step thing. So I always give this example. Did you ever try chanting with a mind full of unfinished WhatsApp messages? You typed it and you haven't sent it. So that's like the 10th step. 10th step is like a reminder, clear that inbox first. So the example is Kunti Devi's prayers, when she actually says, let my thoughts flow towards you, just like the river waters flows towards the ocean. So through this step 10 and 11, we will cultivate very strongly a habit, a pattern, sangha, the mood where we allow Krishna's presence through inventory, through meditation, through conscious contact with Krishna. And the next is the I. So I is all about what I went through, turning my pain into my purpose. So your pain is not a personal disaster. Your struggles are not a personal disaster. It is actually a catalyst. It's actually an opportunity Krishna is giving for us to rise above that and not just find excuses and justification. So the 12th step is all about breaking free from those old patterns of justification and taking shelter of Krishna's message that Krishna's personal love, Krishna's personal presence is always there, and it's up to me if I want to go and take shelter under that Govardhan hill. As we go further into this programs, I will be sharing some meditation, some quotes, some specific prayers as we go through every step. So it's a very structured process of how to release those patterns of the anarthas, how to transform the mind like that. Okay, so then spirit, the T is the transformation of the mind. So that's the whole concept of the 12-step program, transforming the way we look at our problems, transforming the way we look at our anarthas. So I did some research with Manah Siksa, and we will be studying that also as we go further into the 30 days. So humility, Manah Siksa brings up a lot about how and what is humility and how to apply it and where lack of humility blocks us in bhakti. So the step 1 will be an integration with the Manah Siksa. So there's a whole literature for those of you who have maybe already been exposed to the 12 steps. This is a whole brand new literature done with the research with Manah Siksa, Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, and integrated. So these will be, the manual is integrated. Then there is also removing envy. Manah Siksa focuses on that, and we will study that in step 4. And then we have verse number 5 of Manah Siksa. By the way, there are 12 verses in Manah Siksa, and it's super interesting that they so much connect to the 12 steps. And the 5th verse of Manah Siksa very much speaks about all the way we seek validation, all that's holding on, and how to release that validation addiction in a very Krishna conscious way, in a practical way. Then we have the verse number 7 that's connected to releasing pride. Sometimes we think, I can manage everything on my own. I know how to do this. I am right. So that's like such a big block in bhakti. So step 6 is a willingness to hand over my anarthas to Krishna. So I really like the steps, how it's like preparation. 7th step is actually giving it to Krishna, but before giving it to Krishna, we need to process it. So 6th step is all about the willingness. It's a dialogue with the mind. How do I become willing to see that I have one purpose, that is to please Krishna, and how to do that? Then verse 11 is very much about Krishna's Smaran, Srimati Radharani, and Krishna's connection with them and aligning to them and conscious contact with Krishna. But we cannot jump to step 11 unless we go through the other steps. So the conclusion is that if we can apply Manah Siksa and the 12 steps, we can actually stop that spiritual avoidance and truly transform. Because what I found is any other method, any other processes, any other therapy, and etc., is not so centered on deriving that power from Krishna. So it's very powerful. Okay, so if we apply Manah Siksa and the 12 steps, we can finally stop using bhakti as a spiritual avoidance and truly transform. Why I say that? Because sometimes it's easy to wear a mask of looking like a devotee, going to the programs, doing all this jumping up and down, saying Jai Srila Prabhupada. At the same time, internally, I'm hiding my anarthas. I'm finding justifications and not really handing them over to Krishna, not really working on the steps of Anartha Nivritti, not really working on the Manah Siksa, I'm not disciplining my mind, I'm not training my mind. So if you have had struggle with this program could be a huge breakthrough to help your mind be attracted to that discipline, like it was for me. So here we have a practical exercise. Let me just check if I need to share another point before this. Okay, this is a prayer, but fine. Let's see how much time we have. Okay, we have 10 minutes. That's great. So let's do this questions. You can do the action later, but please take down these questions, take a screenshot or whatever you need to do. This is your homework. Every day you'll be given some reflections to work on, practical exercise, experiential exercise, where this today will be the day that you will write down, journal about it, and come to one sentence or two sentences at the end. Write down one area in your life where you feel powerless, where you feel stuck, and rate okay, let me go first one. So when you write down which area of your life you're feeling stuck, it could be over dependency, it could be overthinking, it could be relationship addiction, it could be scrolling, it could be food habits, anything major that you can see. And if you're still not aware, talk to your best friend, talk to your partner or your children. Ask your children, they'll tell you the truth. Ask somebody who really knows you with what's and all. What is one area of your life which is keeping you from experiencing Krishna consciousness fully? Okay, then like a bad habit, okay? Of course, there are variations of anarthas, but that one thing that you want to work on, pick that one thing. When you pick that one thing, I promise you, many other minor things will also be covered. But this is a homework for today. Pick one thing. Take your time, at least 30 minutes or so, journaling, reflecting. Then, how strongly do you want this block to be busted? There's the second question. From 0 to 10. Let's say I have overthinking problem and I know that it's getting in my way. And I know that I think I can manage it. That would be like a 3. Three is my readiness to actually accept that this is being such a block and I really need to bust it. But to say that, oh my God, this overthinking has blocked me for the last 12 years of my life. I haven't written that book. I haven't done those courses that I wanted to do. I didn't sign up for this. I didn't even become serious about my japa, whatever it is that for years there's been a voice telling me to work on something, but I haven't been able to. So this overthinking is really getting in my way. So I would say I'm at a 9. I really want to work on it. So this number is very important for tomorrow's session. When we begin the session tomorrow, I'm going to ask you, what's your number? So based on that number, I'm going to reveal a secret. Okay, so come with that number, ready, worked on it. Then after you're done with that, the third one is to write a short prayer asking Krishna for guidance, for you to work on that area in this program, this 30 days, and the willingness, because you cannot buy willingness on Amazon, unfortunately. You have to pray for the willingness to start this journey of Anartha Nivritti, the 30 days, and so that you can give 100% to this. Only then it can work. All right, so now is the time for questions. It needs to be 1. There's a question in the chat box. Yes, it needs to be 1. You have to pick 1. You cannot say, I have this scrolling problem also, I have food thing also, I have overthinking also. You will, I promise you, all those will be addressed, but you need to pick one thing. For the sake of clarity in this program, for the sake of your effectiveness, you need to pick one thing. You don't have to reveal it to the group. It's a personal thing. You don't have to share it with anybody if you don't want to, but I mean, one person you would need to share at one point in step 5, but until then, you don't need to share it with anybody. And if you pick one, and if you feel that, well, I have another issue which is more urgent and you want to change it in step 2, you can always do that. But in order for us to get into step 1 and for you to really benefit from step 1, you need to pick one issue, one block, one anartha, one addiction. I would just call it addiction because it's very easy. The second question I have in the chat box is, what if I missed some step? You should go back and watch this video. And also the whole program is set up in such a way that it doesn't matter as long as you go regularly in Sangha and you hear the principles of the 12 steps, it keeps hearing, and you share in the meetings, and you keep doing your outreach. Even if you've missed a step, you will catch up. You cannot miss too much. So you keep coming back. You are worth it. It works if you work it, and you are worth it. That's another theme we have. Keep coming back. It works if you work it, and you are worth it. So there's nothing to worry about. If you miss something, you can always get back to the reading material. You can always talk to somebody. You can connect with other members in the group. All right. Any other questions?
Hare Krishna Mataji, Ranga Pranam.
Hi, Krishna Kavya.
Mataji, I'm extremely sorry. Like, I did not know like the timings and all. Now I joined the meeting. Like it
Keep
will
coming
be.
back. Keep coming back whenever you can. Keep
Yes,
joining this meeting, and these audios and videos will be available. You can always rewatch them.
Mataji, like it will be in the morning or in the evening, Mataji session.
So many other therapies focus on going deeper into the problem, keep going into the black hole of material existence. So there's no end to it. But this Anartha Nivritti program is structured in such a way that we learn to become part of the solution and get away from being part of the problem. All right. So thank you very much. See you in the next session.